Hey, people of St. Thomas, I hope you're having a great week. This week, November 1st, on Wednesday, we celebrated All Saints' Day, which is an important feast day in the life of the church. I was at a meeting at our National Cathedral where a task force was looking at the role of the National Cathedral in the 21st century. Not only the life of the National Cathedral, but what it means to be the chief mission church, the Diocese of Washington, and to be a house of prayer for all people. An ambitious task for our task force. And in that listening session, one of the cathedral members, which I don't know is indicative of the entire congregation, but nevertheless, was very concerned about maintaining the role of that charter and not to do anything too controversial. And I point out that it was rather ironic on All Saints' Day that he was pointing that out, because the reality of it is, if we look at the lives of the saints, these people did something different. They went against the norm. They were thought outside the box. They went against the status quo, and I believe that's what Jesus calls us to do a lot. It's not just simply accept the status quo, but to do and to be something different, to follow Jesus. One of the questions was asked, what would the role of the National Cathedral be if we were to get rid of the National Cathedral portion? What would our role be with the State Department, with other agencies, the White House here in D.C.? And I posed the question, to reframe it a little bit, what would Jesus' role be with these people? With the State Department, with the White House. And I think that's a lens in which we should look at, and I think that's a lens where saints looked at things. They looked at it through the eyes of God. I think I said this in my last sermon on the last All Saints' Day, where we talked about that saints are best like stained glass windows. They're not statues, they're not perfect people. They are instead rather like stained glass windows, letting the light of God shine through them. And letting the light of God shine through you means that sometimes you have to do things differently, you have to think differently, and you have to go against the status quo. So this All Saints' Day, this week where All Saints is about, where we celebrate it this Sunday, I invite you to look for ways that you can be saintly, ways that you can perhaps go against the status quo, perhaps where you can not be self-righteous, but be righteous, and let the light of God shine through you. So I look forward to seeing you this Sunday as that great gather together with that great cloud of witnesses to once again try to figure out how to better follow Jesus. See you this Sunday.